It actually looks like lockdown, doesn't it? That's how it should be. Yeah. It's really peaceful. It is about 3 o'clock in the morning, I think. and, it's gonna take it. This to me looks like it used to be at 3 o'clock in the morning. But of course, who knows what it really is? I mean, so who knows what it really is? Because, some of us, realize that the Matrix, or what is now, has probably always been, even in my own life. It's just that it was hiding and letting you believe that you were in a kind of random natural world that you probably should be in, or at least would need to be in. But so that's strange. But it's just one big kind of, these bus lights almost look like heart shapes on the back of them. That's more like where you expect them to have a slightly aggressive manner or go a bit fast. I can't hear the traffic, and I can see that there's none of it. There's no traffic. So the bus, and the side of, see how bright the lights are on the back of the buses now, the red lights? See, they've got quite bright. To me they're very bright anyway, at least they're very red. See how it's blinking at me as well, even though it's got all those red lights on. I don't understand. See, that's not, just see, it's not going to come out on the mobile, but, everything is more bright. And it's flashing the light at me, which it won't come out on the mobile, not unless you wanted to somehow freeze frame it and then go in with a magnifying glass, if you can do that. The lights, see those red lights going over the hill, see how he's flashed them at me, but it's not going to come out. In other words, they was on, but then he flashed them brighter still as it went over the horizon there. See, I don't, see that's, the past, I suppose if I saw that or something like it, I'd have just thought, oh, it's just my eyes playing tricks, or there's some sort of reflection going on in the distance that I'm not aware of. And you dismiss it, you know. And that would be normal. Where was I anyway? It's a good question. Where was I and where am I? You know, where was I and where am I? It's so pretty to see those lights there when there's no cars, when we get a break. And we've got it very quiet tonight. This is, you know, not intolerable for me at all, like it often is up here, even at this time in the morning. But of course, I am waiting, you know, on the usual arrival. Oh, there's a light there. See how there's a light there? Look at that. See, someone is flashing a light there. Look at that. Can you see that? See down there? That should be blank. Some car or someone is flashing a light. Not flashing it, but it's still. See how it is? It's coming now, so you'll actually see that I'm not making it up. It stopped there. What is it? It's two people, I think. I can't even see because the light's in mode, but I think there's a person there with some... It's probably a push bike with a very bright light on the front. And that is not necessary, but also they're standing there in front of me, as you can see, but I'm not even bothered. I'm not bothered, okay? And I emphasise that because, you know, that is actually the secret, is to not be bothered. But that doesn't change that, you know, the fact that, see how that fellow's just walked across the road in front there, He's standing in the centre of the road now, see how he's standing there? You know, they pretend they're doing stuff, but basically it's all a stage program, and I'm supposed to ignore it. And, you know, because that really, I don't think, that really is, it's the moon up there, but it's not full moon, I don't think. It's not a full moon, it's about 3/4. Something like that. It might come out, I'm not sure. But I just try to concentrate here if I can. But I'm just not caring too much. Just not caring too much. Something run across the road down there, but I don't know what it was. What was it? See, I could have almost thought it was my imagination, because there's no way that some small animal is going to run across the road. My hand is getting... I don't understand why those red lights almost seem to be in a different shape to my naked eye. I don't. But all the others, the green one seems to be normal. There's no point in me pointing that out, because it won't come out on the mobile at all. No way. I just try to keep not concentrating on making a video, but not caring. What's coming up? What's this flashing thing coming up? Something is trying to get my attention. What is it? Maybe the Matrix is going to play with me after all, and I thought it was going to be all that. What is this coming up? That is just, that is really irritating. That sort of stuff when they do that to me. I think it's very irritating. And they didn't even have the siren on, so why have they got the flashing lights? You know, they're not. Yeah. Um, Maybe there is going to be an arrival soon because the trucks are starting to come on now. So perhaps that little bit of quiet is not going to last. I don't know. Just try see, going around the corner there. That's a Matrix car. You can tell. And if you ask me how I can tell, I can't explain it. I could perhaps put it into practical words and say, look, those red lights down there are making a kind of shape. It's almost like, oh, I don't know why it's making that shape, but it's too big. The lights on the back. It's not going to come out in the mobile, but they're playing with my naked eye versus the mobile. It's not a big deal, but it's only the red lights that are doing it. None of the others. Of course, it's on the backs of the cars too. They're becoming bigger and almost in a shape. Dare I say, to me it resembles a kind of heart shape, but that's probably just playing with me. I don't know. Maybe it's me playing. Maybe it's me deluding myself, I sometimes think. I know that it is a mind game, not just at the Matrix level, but, you know, we do fool ourselves as well. I mean, I play against myself as much as against the Matrix, because I misinterpret people and the meaning of them, especially if you think it's important. If it doesn't matter to you, then even if you misinterpret things, it won't matter, you won't care. But if something matters, or if you're like, you know, if it matters to you, if you care about, you know, what you're interacting with, I sound like something not normal by saying something like that. I should just come out direct and say if you're talking to someone instead of saying interacting. But that's because I don't want to be personal on a video. You know, but my hand is so. I don't know. That's just. You know, the physical body sidetracks you too. So, you know, all these things, they all combine to create negative human being in this at this time. And it's not really what you think it is anything. But, you know, in the past, I suppose you would say if you get depressed, you'd say, well, it doesn't affect anyone except yourself. But as there is, as we do interact with the Matrix and others, you know, it does have, unfortunately, more of an effect. I mean, if it was all positive, then it wouldn't matter, and we could just bounce around, making even a few mistakes, as you, or as I always do. Anyway, I was about to say we, but you know, I should just speak for myself. And I'm not actually. See, a fella just moved behind that corner there when I just moved the thing, but that won't come out on the mobile, but there was someone there that just moved just before I put the mobile on. That's just very subtle, Matrix, making you aware that they're always around, even, you see that one headlight's brighter than the other. Okay, that bus. 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 They make the lights on the buses and the cars bigger some nights than others. I'm not sure why that would be. Some buses have bigger lights on the back, but you know, they didn't used to have those bright red lights, like 4 of them on the back of the buses. If anyone tells me that they did, say 6 or 7 years ago, I would. Well, I'm not saying that I would, you know, say that, you know, I would swear to it on life or anything, but I'm pretty sure that they didn't have, that they've, you know, I mean, I know this for a fact anyway, that they're frightened, you know, that you know, make their presence felt by the lights and sound. You know, but just to point out individual differences to anyone that might think that something is different and that doesn't matter. And I'm sure there's a rational explanation for all these things anyway. I mean, I'm sure, see how one light on that bus is brighter than the other. Not going to come out, but you know, it doesn't matter, but it matters not. I'm sure that anything matters in some ways. The street lights look a different shape to me tonight for some reason. The red ones aren't. And I have mentioned, you know, they do. I mean, it's not, obviously it's all a light show and it's all about lights, but I should try to keep really, but, you know, I have to admit that, I have to admit that, it's like an optical illusion, those lights on the back of even that truck. They just seem to have got, somehow, seem to be putting it into a slight shape as opposed to just being, that can't be right. You know what I mean? Like the lights should just be like these lights here, just like plain, one, all the same. For some reason it seems to be. So even that car as it went past, it put its red lights on the back flashing, but it didn't pull up, so it should only put the red lights on, I would think, if it's pulling up. But I don't know, I don't know. I don't know. Oh, so those lights do look. It doesn't matter, because this is the silliest video, because I would be not, I would be, you know, the Matrix would be using this video to show that that I'm playing mind games in my own head and that there is no Matrix, because I'm not doing it very logical or clearly tonight at all. But you know, even if it is logical, you know, my point is that even if it's logical, right? Like even if a car goes around a corner and puts its light on, which is quite legitimate and normal for the so-called normal traffic, that still doesn't mean that that car isn't going around there at a particular time past a particular person, you know, to to keep them sort of kind of, it's kind of like being a bit, it's like, it's like making the awareness of the matrix and its patrolling traffic. It makes that presence felt. It makes that, but it's actually quiet tonight. This is probably the quietest that I've actually seen it over quite a long time, even though it is about 3 in the morning. Yes, the kebab shop is still open at 3 in the morning, even despite lockdown, but it normally used to be open till 4 anyway, and it caters to the matrix traffic, you see, because in reality, if it was total lockdown, there wouldn't be, they would probably shut their doors early because they wouldn't do business. But they cater to this matrix patrol system, you see. That's what I think anyway. Because, you know, if it's total lockdown and no one's, you know, like there's nothing much open, and there's not, certainly wouldn't be any pubs or clubs open late like they used to be. Everything's closed. So after a certain time, you know, there wouldn't be any people driving to places, I wouldn't think. See how slow this truck's coming up? It's actually pulled up. Can you see that? How that truck with its bright lights there is just pulled up in front? It's actually almost illegally parked because that's the service station and he's pulled up right in front. That's pulling up in front of me. Now, you know, you don't have to believe that, but it is because the lights are right in my eyes, and of course this happens all the time, but of course I don't film and haven't filmed until recently the traffic anyway. You know, so it doesn't mean anything, but he's just going to stay there, some sort of truck with its lights on. There's nothing there. You know, everything's closed. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Of course he's going to go into the service station. But normally if you go into the service station, you take your truck into the service station. I've rarely seen them, and actually he is illegally parked because that's a bus zone. He's actually parked on the bus stop. See how the bus is coming now? If that bus was going to pull in there to stop, it wouldn't be able to. But see, it's all matrix, so that bus doesn't care because it knows that that truck is parked there to put its lights on so that I'm aware of it. So it's parked on the bus stop, a big truck. And it's left its lights on while it goes wherever it's probably pretending to go into the 7-Eleven there. So, you know, that's how it is. Now, you could catch me out and say, you know, like, I mean, if you want to catch me out, if you want to catch a real human out and say they're part of the matrix, it's very easy to do. Because, like I always say, that's the 7-Eleven up there. Whereas technically speaking, or correctly speaking, it's not really a 7-Eleven. But I say 7-Eleven because although it is a service station and it does have the coffee and the little kind of very mini supermarket, but you know, the 7-Eleven is more common and most people have heard of it, so I just say 7-Eleven, but it's exactly the same as the 7-Eleven, you know, in every aspect. But, you know, all I'm saying is that, I think he did the one eye thing then, didn't he? Or did I miss that? I don't know what I had I was looking at the ground because I was thinking a bit, kind of thinking, oh, how difficult it is, you know, because, like I say, in this matrix now, at this time, because the humans that are aware of the Matrix and know what's going on. Oh, here's Patrick coming, so I better go to him. Oh, oh. Patrick. Do you want to talk on the video, or do you want me to turn it off? I can see by the look on your face that you definitely don't want to. Is that right?
Yeah.
I'll turn it off. Watch out for all that. There's your coffee, but watch out for all that stuff that's there. There's a bit of rubbish. Not much happening tonight anyway, is there?
It's 3 o'clock in the morning.
Well, I know it's 3 o'clock in the morning, but some nights even at 3 o'clock it's a little bit more lively, you know.
When all the pubs and things are closed, they're pretty quiet, you know. Don't worry, you'll be able to complain soon.
What?
You complain when it's noisy, you complain when it's not noisy.
Well,
no pleasing some people.
well, yeah, it might be alright.
Not that I care anymore. Is this mine?
Yes, that's. Oh no, it's mine. Oh, you can have it though if you like.
No.
It's alright. Got you a smaller one because you said you didn't want to stay up.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll be up for a little while longer. So. Big one.
What?
I got a big one.
Oh.
I can't hear you too well, to be honest. If I only had a small placement box, so I shoved it right in.
Beanie on top of blue tack. So.
Well, if I put the beanie on top of the blue tack, at least people can't see the blue tack. Not that anyone cares anyway. But no, I just got the beanie on because I thought it might be a bit cold, you know, because it's so late. But it's not as cold as last night or the night before, is it? Of course,
No,
we're
it's
later, but
pretty warm tonight. It's like 19 or so.
yeah, because it was earlier last night, but it was colder, and the night before colder.
Yeah. Tonight's quite warm.
Yeah, but it suits me because I don't like it when it's cold, you know.
Yeah. It'll only get warmer from now on, so.
Hope so, because we are nearly we're getting into the spring, aren't we?
Yeah, obviously. Sunny at 6:30 or so, nearly.
What's that?
It's still sunny at like 6:15 or so at the moment. So it's once you add on daylight savings in a week or two,
Yeah.
once it's like that, it's pretty warm usually.
Well, when it gets into summer, you actually only have like about you only really have about 8 hours of night, don't you? Really?
Second.
You only really have about 8 hours of night when they bring in summer in the daylight. Oh, well, the daylight
probably
savings doesn't make
Really about 9 or 10, but yeah,
Yeah.
it gets dark at about 8:30, 8:15 in the middle of summer, and the sun doesn't come up until about 6 o'clock because of the daylight savings in the morning.
Yes, I don't mind it, except that
Hands must get sore.
they are sore actually. Yeah. It's just that you have more activity going with it being lighter to the shape.
Hurting your hands for nothing.
What's that?
You're like causing your hands possible long-term damage for nothing.
Well, I shouldn't make the videos.
Well, you shouldn't hold your phone for ages.
How do you make a video without holding the phone? Well, apart from getting some sort of...
Get something that holds your phone. Like, there's a million of things out there you can use.
Yeah, that's true because... Oh, yes, I better turn it off. I actually got a spasm
It's
in it.
literally uncomfortable watching you.
It's
Your hands
uncomfortable.
twitching. I'm literally scratching my hands out of like feeling like you're on.
Did you get a new... Have you got a watch? I didn't know you had a watch.
Yeah, I got. Remember I told you I bought it a couple of weeks ago from Grays Online,
Oh.
but it came in the mail yesterday. Yesterday.
Does that tell the time?
Yeah, you'd hope so.
That's a silly question, isn't it? Sorry. Sorry.
Yeah.
You got a watch and does it too. Well, I
Let's
thought
not,
it
let's
might
not
have
get
been
into
something.
let's not get into AM or PM. We can avoid AM or PM. I'm happy with that.
Oh no, I know when it's AM. I finally figured out after 60 years, 60 odd years or whatever, when the AM and the PM is. I have to admit, I still have to stop and think about it. I still do. Even the other day, I was spending about 10 minutes thinking about now, what time is it? It's like, I'm like, even now, if you actually ask me, like, I'd have to think. But, it seems funny to me that PM should be in the afternoon. That seems wrong.
Why?
I don't know.
Well, stop. Like, it's just because you're wrong. Like, you used to think the wrong thing and you can't stop thinking the wrong thing.
That's probably true.
That's
That may
really
be true.
bad.
But actually, I never really thought
really
about it
disturbing.
much at all. I've never been big on
Literally
time.
can't let
But,
go of like an idea that
PM should be night time to me.
It is.
No, it's not. Because it's not PM now, and yet, look, it's night. Look, I'm showing. Look, night.
You're really being stupid. What are you doing? Are you trying to make a fool of yourself, Mum? Don't put this on YouTube. It's the most embarrassing conversation ever. No, seriously.
Probably right. I don't care
I'll delete it.
anymore.
If you put it on, I'm going to delete it anyway. So go.
You can't delete my videos. Well, don't. You
Oh,
know,
well, don't put that on there. Like, it's so embarrassing.
I thought you'd be glad if I made a fool of myself.
Here we go. Pity me. Well,
No, but I don't mean it like that. But no, I
Fuck
didn't.
off. Don't start.
Well, I'm not talking about the fact that I thought that I think PM should be night. What's wrong with that? Like, I don't think.
Is
I know
PM
it's stupid,
like,
but
Mum, for most people, if you say is PM morning or night, or day or night, people will say night.
well, it's
most-
early night, isn't it? It's like
Most people go to sleep in the PM and wake up in the AM.
well, I suppose if you put it like that, yes. I never thought of it. That's because I have such funny hours. You see, that's the thing. Isn't it?
I work shift work. I've done really.
Well, yeah, that's true.
I don't understand how once you know it, you can't just know it.
I don't know. I just keep forgetting it somehow. Or,
Yeah, no, but
or
I don't-
it
like, it's
seems to confuse me some. I don't know why. Nothing, not other things don't. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter either way. Like, it doesn't cause any difficulties for me, does it? Like,
No,
I still know
but
what time
it's
it is,
a
and I still know,
symptom,
you
yeah.
know, what whether it's day or
Yeah.
night, and what I'm doing, and where I'm.
Yeah, I'm not saying that the actual
So-
AM PM matters. The fact that like you still.
It's the same in every country, isn't it? No, when I said that about the watch, I thought that maybe it got some new technological fancy watch that was for something else on your wrist. Do you know what I mean?
You don't think they'd bother just to put the time on there as well?
Hmm?
You don't think they'd bother just to put the time on there as well?
Oh yes. Oh, so it is a fancy watch. So it's not really like an old
It's one of
wristwatch.
those smartwatches that I got from Grays Online. Why do you think it only lit up when I put my hand up?
Oh, I didn't notice that. Oh yeah, it does too. I didn't notice that.
Really. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, because I've never owned a watch, but I do think they're a good
I only
idea.
got it because I went for a run just before, after you rang. I went for a run and I had a shower.
We're going for a lot of runs. Everyone seems to be running around. The only person who's come
it's
to
'cause
a
I didn't
standstill
get
is
up.
me.
Stop worrying, I don't care about everyone else, but
I saw someone I saw a couple of joggers. You know how I said that perhaps it's smarter to jog in the night time because it's cooler.
Yeah.
especially now that it might be getting a bit warmer. I saw a few just when I was coming down here.
That could also be morning because it's like Saturday morning, and some people like to get up early Saturday morning. But you know,
Well, see, that's another
3 o'clock
thing
in the
too.
morning.
See, that's that. You know how you just said it's Saturday mornings. That's another thing that I've never said. See, that's where old habits die hard, as they say. Is that the same?
yeah,
Because
close
I've always said Saturday. See, to me it's Saturday night, whereas to everyone else it's Saturday morning. That's right.
enough. Oh, no.
That's the difference. See, that's where I got it wrong, haven't I? Doesn't matter, but that's where I got it wrong.
Done.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, no, I didn't go earlier. Sorry. I was going to go about half an hour early, but I was just watching the end of a bit of a golf fair. I got the Ryder Cup on this weekend.
I watched the football.
What?
I watched the football for the first. That's the first game I've watched this entire year, this entire season.
Yeah, fair enough.
So I'll probably get that going, and then the grand final.
No, tomorrow it's on in the afternoon.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I only noticed myself. I would have missed it otherwise. It's on at like 4 o'clock, I think.
Oh, that's no good. I'll miss it then,
Yeah, but I did notice if you go on,
because I'll be in bed at that time.
yeah, I can show you a 9 app, or you can go on YouTube and watch it maybe. But yeah,
I always get on. They do that deliberately so I can't watch things. I think, Patrick. Because you know,
the thing with you is it's so easy to screw with you because you got because you got zero willpower.
well, that's
You
true.
know what I mean? Like you just like
But don't have good- That's actually true.
Well,
But,
it's me.
but you are
Same
right.
as
This,
always.
but you are right this way. I do find it.
Like if you want to get up, get up.
No, you are right. I do find it hard to.
Like you use the 9 app, it takes like literally in the time where you take like whinging and moaning about how like you watch TV. You can just go on the 9 app and like register there. It takes 5 minutes. 20 minutes.
That's what I should do because it's otherwise Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. See, today's Saturday, so I see. So they got it as an afternoon. So that makes sense in a way. But just what I thought with the finals, they'd mainly be all-night games, because but they do have the TV for the afternoon game. I forgot that. Yeah. So they just switched it. But didn't they have a game on Friday? They didn't have a game on Friday. I got confused. They didn't have a game on Friday. I'm getting confused. They didn't have a game on Friday, did they?
You just watched the game on Friday.
But isn't today Saturday?
It's Saturday morning.
Okay, never mind. I really am not with it.
You're
quite
fucking.
right.
I don't know
Sorry,
what's wrong
sorry.
with you. You must have fucking gone and vaccinated or something.
Well, actually, no excuse for me, is there really? That's right.
Lots of other excuses.
Friday. You're not playing with me, are you, with that? That's
About
all.
what?
That is right, though, isn't it? Friday.
Oh my god.
All right.
Retard.
Being silly. Oh.
Instant retard.
Doesn't matter anyway. We only had 2 games anyway, didn't we?
When?
This weekend.
We've had 1, and there's 1 tomorrow. There's only 4 teams left. There's literally 2 games.
I think I'm getting muddled up with last week because I didn't
How can
watch
you get
any at
muddled
all.
up
I
with
didn't
the
see
different
any.
league?
That's what it is.
How can you get muddled up with the different leagues?
Because I wanted to watch the game last week. I thought
What's that
maybe
got
I
to-
should try to take an interest
so
because
painful.
take my mind off things. But
Yeah.
but I didn't. Yeah, but I didn't see it. That's right. I was preoccupied with something else, so I completely forgot to watch the thing. Because I'm not used to watching TV much, Because I just leave it on the one station,
Yeah, fair enough.
You know, because it took me a while to get the hang of the, you know, how you have to put different numbers in. Although actually channel 9 is easy because you just put 9 in. But I didn't know that.
Just press up or down as well. But yeah, okay, fair enough.
But like if you put the others in, you have to put numbers. And I only know the number of one channel, and that's the movie one because, you know,
Yeah, fair enough.
because I don't watch so much of it. It's just a different remote, you know, different device.
Yeah.
The kebab shop still stays open till 4 or so.
On the weekend, yeah. I do a decent amount of delivery. And like, they got a reasonable amount of passing traffic.
It's not very heavy, the traffic tonight, is it? I was actually surprised. It's not, last night we had all those trucks and things.
Yeah, it depends on what we're doing with the, you know, the building and stuff around there. Obviously.
I'll turn this off now. Say good night to everyone.
Just
Come on, say good night.
seriously turned off before I fucking throw it.
Oh. Well,
Like, the moment I got here, you asked me, did you want me to turn it off? And then you just disregarded my answer altogether, which sums up your attitude towards me altogether. So, whatever. Happy? Hope you're happy. So, why even ask if you want? If you don't know.
well, you didn't seem real angry, so I thought you didn't.
Oh, come on. At least you can go back on the video now
Oh.
and listen to me just clearly going, like, fucking turn. And you literally looked at me and go, oh, I can tell you want me to turn it off. So don't pretend. That's one good thing about your stupid video.
Well, anyway, I will turn it off.